Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football Nation. This is our review of the Bournemouth versus Chelsea match, where Chelsea has beaten Bournemouth 2-0. So I thought this was a great game. As a Chelsea fan, in the first half, though, it was very frustrating because the Chelsea had a lot of possession. They had 76% of the ball possession. Um, and also they had 335 passes as opposed to Bournemouth's 78 passes. But for all that possession, for all that ball control, Chelsea lacked that end product that they were looking. They didn't seem too threatening, in the final third. I think even Bournemouth had more clear-cut chances than Chelsea at that point. So yeah, that was the problem. A lot of possession, no end product. That was the story of the first half. But in the second half, there's a couple of players that really stood out to me. One of them was Pedro. And of course, we know that Pedro is a great player, and I feel like he gives us that drive, that end product that we were lacking in the first half. He was very dangerous. I feel like he's won his place back in the starting 11. Yes, Willian is a very good player, but I think Pedro is thriving more under this system at the moment. Another player I was very happy to see come on was Loftus-Cheek. Now, Loftus-Cheek, hasn't really been starting or playing under Chelsea these past games, but I feel like today, aside from that one error or mistake in the I guess in Chelsea's own half towards the end of the game, aside from that, he's been making really good passes, great runs. He's been very physical, and he's got this really good defensive awareness that has also helped the team, in the midfield. So, I would say this game was a very good one. I There are two things I want to point out, though, that were kind of, I guess, on the negative sides, and that was the shaky defense, that we had at times. Rudiger, on one, like towards the end when Chelsea was winning 1-0, he cut out the player and could have easily gotten the red card, and that was without he didn't even have the ball. The other player, the Bournemouth player, he didn't have the ball, but he cut him out, and it would have been an unnecessary red card, which I think we got. I mean, I'm not sure a red card, but a penalty, I should say. But I'm not sure that was necessary. So I think there were other things, in defense where it seemed that we were very, I guess, vulnerable to Bournemouth counterattacks. So I feel like they could have had at least a goal, Bournemouth. But I guess we were lucky to have the clean sheet. I think the defense needs to keep improving, to play against better teams, better offensive teams. I think Chelsea would struggle. But, they're still improving. It's crazy to say that Chelsea's still a work in progress because they have now won, the first four matches of the Premier League. So that's, 12 points out of 12 possible. So I think it's perfect. I think right now we're still in second place due to goal differential, Liverpool being first. But I mean, this is a great start. I think that initially, many people would count out Chelsea as being even in the top four. But now I think it's a really good possibility to even make a run at title defense. Now, some people might think it's too early to say that, but you gotta think that Chelsea is still improving every week. So I feel like this is a very a great thing because we're still learning and we're winning. That's just just icing on the cake for me. So we just gotta keep this up. Now another area where I think it was very a concern for me was the center forward, striker position. I think Morata is a good. We know the player Morata can be. We know. He can be physical at times, not very often, but at times you see it. But it's still lacking there. He still needs to be more physical. He still needs to be more in the face of the opposition defense. Today, when Giroud came on, it was, clear difference between Giroud and Morata. Giroud was a lot more physical. He was a lot more more of a handful for the defense, for the Bournemouth defense. So I even think that it would be wise for Sarri to put Giroud, even though I feel like Giroud is not really a striker to the standard of a Chelsea team. That's just how I see him. But I think for at the moment he's our best, I guess the best option we have in center forward. Now, I feel like since Morata is more younger and he could have a lot more potential. There he's got a major problem with confidence, and I just don't think that he could bounce back if he gets benched, and he's I just don't know, I just don't know. But I feel like right now Giroud is our best chance. After seeing Morata a season and these 4 games, I'm just not sure about him. I was backing him. I gotta say, I was very optimistic of him in this season, but I feel like it's just a continuation of last season where he was very poor. So I don't know. I don't know if he should stay in the team in the future, but I guess we'll talk more about that, because right now there's nothing we can do. The window's closed. And now it's all about just working with what we have, and this is what we have, and we just got to make the best of it. So that's just my take, on the center forward position. But overall, in the talking about Chelsea as a team, I'm just very happy with this, very positive. I feel like we had to be very patient. It was a frustrating match to watch in the first half and on large parts of the match, but when that first goal came in, you could just like breathe a little bit easier. And then when the second goal, when Hazard scored, it was like, we got this. We're done. You can write this in the books. 3 points, we're done. That's just how it felt. So I think it was good that Chelsea had a lot of patience and a lot of drive. So there are a lot of good positives to come from this match. A lot to work with still. But, we're getting it done. So hit like if you guys like this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.